Welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the June 26, 2018 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I am looking out the window at a beautiful day. It's going to be a bit hot, of course. It is 83 right now, on its way up to 90, but that's not actually too bad. It's been about 94 this week, which, let me tell you, is, the seventh gate of hell. I don't even know if that's a thing. Anyway, 90 degrees and rain and lightning storms today, but that's normal summer weather. We've got basically 90, 90, 91, 91, 90, and 88 the rest of the weekend, lightning storm in the afternoon. It's Florida. We're back on track. So anyway, where you're at, it isn't too terribly rainy, although, Neptune is going retrograde, or actually, is retrograde, pardon me. That was like last week's. That's old news. That was last week's news. So, we've got a lot to go over today. We're going to have a full moon here. I don't even have my ephemeris open. And for those of you who are new, an ephemeris is the tables that are the tables, proper grammar here. I am a Virgo. It's a table that has the position of all the planets and the lights, which are the moon and the sun. And also my ephemeris has, I've got multiple ephemerides. I don't even know what the plural of that is. See, this is the problem. This is the hazard of my brain being Uranus in Virgo. It's always sitting back and thinking back on itself going, did you say that right? Very self-aware. Anyway, mine has 5 asteroids, including Ceres, Pallas, I call it Ceres, Pallas, Juno, Vesta, and Chiron. So it has a table, and it tells all the positions in the sky, the sign it's in, where it goes, what day it changes signs, all sorts of lovely good things if you're an astrologer. And it's basically a bunch of numbers that are all columnar. I'm using a lot of words that I better stay away from. I don't know why I'm using all these words. Oh, I do know why. You know why? Because Shelley is caffeinated. I just got a Dunkin' coffee. And so, I don't know why I do that right before my show, because that just makes me a little bit more, I don't know, probably Aquarian, very high mental energy. Anyway, so let's go over what's going on. I know I was actually looking up. See, that's also the other thing that is very Aquarian, is very easily distracted. Lots of information coming through, and it flies through, and you're on to the next thing. So I'm just trying to find, today is the 26th. So Mars goes retrograde today at 5:04 p.m. Eastern, 2:04 Pacific. And that means that we are in the last hours of feeling slowdown, which is Mars very much sinking into the energy that we feel. And also Mars in Aquarius. Aquarius rules scientists, it rules astrologers, it rules weathermen and meteorology and amazing electrical storms, thunderstorms we're going to experience today. It also rules the internet and large, massive technology. So I would not be surprised if we have some type of outage of internet. Or I can tell you, I've been going out the last couple of days using my credit card or debit card, and I'm getting a lot of slowdowns and waiting and glitches and things like that. I went to Wendy's yesterday, and you couldn't even buy anything unless you had cash from them. So you're going to see that. That's part of not only Mercury energy, which is at the ends of Capricorn, Cancer. Why did I do this? The second time I've done that. So you start with CA. Mercury is the end of Cancer, but Mars turning retrograde in Aquarius is absolutely going to affect technology and our credit cards and our internet and probably grids of electricity as well. And let's see, I'm just kind of eyeballing the week here in my ephemeris, and Mercury enters Leo on Thursday, which is also the day of our full moon at 6 degrees Capricorn, and that happens at 12:53 a.m. Pacific, and in the evening on Wednesday in the Eastern time zone at 9:53 p.m. So let's talk about the full moon. Moon is the body that rules the tides, it rules water on Earth, and it will affect us through the water in our body. As you know, our bodies are a high percentage of water. So when the moon shifts signs or gets into a part of the sky that is more water-based, you're going to feel it stronger. So right now I feel a little bloated. I've been drinking a lot of coffee, and I think I'm retaining water. So I'm going to be more susceptible to the tides and the motions of the moon. I know that sounds a little wild, but it's true. If your body has more liquids in it, you're going to be more sensitive because it's affecting your body. And so the moon getting full means that it is at full power to affect the tides, the water, and our moods. So when it goes into the sign of Capricorn, this is kind of the dichotomy of the zodiac, or the polarity really is probably more accurate. Moon is the ruler of the sign of Cancer. It is today in the opposite sign of Cancer, which is Capricorn. So normally we have Capricorn energy being very practical, pragmatic, organized, systematic, all those very rigid kind of structured belief systems. Moon, of course, is emotional. Put that in the sign of Capricorn and you have emotions coming out in difficult ways because Capricorn doesn't particularly want to be emotional. Capricorn is more, like I said, systematic, so it can be analytical and mental. It is an earth sign, so it rules the material world, it rules buildings, it rules roadways, and anything that's structured. It can rule, well, it doesn't, can. It's not can. It does rule the structure of the body, in other words, the skeleton. So when the moon is full in Capricorn, we have a culmination of the story around those things. It also rules fathers and parenthood and governments, organizations, the physical structure of organizations, because Aquarius tends to rule more the people of the organizations. But Capricorn is also about authority figures and bosses, so, and also our career and purpose. So those are the areas we're going to see affected as the moon becomes full. So it will culminate in the story that we have around those things. So it can mean that we're feeling really full and at the end of what we can get from our jobs, a career in a specific area. We may be thinking, and I can almost get you thinking of changing jobs because that's what Mars in Aquarius is getting us to do. Any planets leaving the sign of Capricorn, moving into Aquarius, going to represent the releasing of that energy into a new form and a new interest. So as the moon culminates in that full energy, it is at early degrees, it's only at 6 degrees. So it is triggering a new way of thinking about our career or a system or the organization we're associated with and how we want to shift and change that area. Personally, I work out of my home. The structure of my home is my business and career. So this can trigger the energy around wanting to shift something in that environment. And personally, having Mars in Aquarius and then all these energies coming into Capricorn, I'm wanting to really systemize my home more, structure to get organized. I can't take all the excess energy of things that are lying around piles. And if you know artists at all, they're creative. Creative people are messy. And so we're going to end up seeing this shift and change around that kind of clutter energy as well, because Mars is going retrograde. And of course, they're happening so close together. Like I said, Mars retrogrades today and the full moon is on Thursday. So it's only 2 days apart. So when you combine these energies, It is about getting rid of the old, reevaluating the old way of doing things, the old system of doing things. And honestly, Mars being the ruler of masculine energy, and Capricorn really represents paternalism, which is ironic because it is a feminine sign, but it paternalism in current collective consciousness agreement, which is kind of a fancy way of saying that we all look at the energy as an archetype of being fatherly. That's probably an old system. I think that that is changing. I think that, of course, because women are in the workplace and they make up such a large percentage majority of earning people for the family, maybe that will change over time. But traditionally, which is what Capricorn is, nothing if not tradition, it's about the traditional structure, and that is, kind of the paternalistic father figurehead. So when you combine the figurehead and the masculine energy of Capricorn and Mars representing men retrograding, and it is a new energy. So really, if you read even deeper into it, wow, I'm really getting into this, but that's okay because I really enjoy doing this for you and giving you kind of a new perspective on the same old in astrology. Like, I've studied it for 40 years, so for me, going over this can be very repetitive, but I really look for new ways of giving you an angle on the different energies of the zodiac. So what we have is Mars just went into Aquarius not long ago, like a few weeks, and so that is new energy around men, new energy around ideas, new energy being youthfulness. Aquarius is a very youthful energy. It can represent youth. Definitely the axis of Aquarius opposite Leo. Leo is a connection to children, and Aquarius is that curiosity that you get a lot of times from children. And because Mars is the ruler of the first natural house of the zodiac, Aries, and the first sign of the zodiac in a chart, it can bring that youthful energy to wherever it's at. And so having Mars in Aquarius definitely is bringing in new male energy in our lives and new ways of thinking about men and how men are in society. So having Mars retrograde means that we just came out into this amazing energy of like, what are men going to be? What do they want to be as part of the collective? And because over the summer with Mars going to be in Aquarius for a good long time, because Mars retrogrades every couple years, we're really feeling this energy around that particular sign. Well, it'll go back a little bit into Capricorn, but really for like 3 months, we're going to have strong Aquarius energy. So we're really exploring what it means to be a man in modern society. And just personally, because my daughter is pretty young, and I'm going to digress for a minute. So my daughter is in her teens, and so I'm exposed to a lot of the teenage ideology and what that generation is really into right now. And I'm noticing, and if you don't get into things like YouTube, which of course are a huge social media platform, YouTube and Instagram and all those, you're starting to see young men exploring makeup. And I even know of one YouTuber who has one of the biggest followings in England, and he wears like a foundation that has, it's just a concealer, but it's a moisturizer that covers his whole face, and it helps smooth out his complexion. But he is completely straight, and it's just a thing now that men are starting to explore makeup. And I would say again, because of course back in ancient Egypt, everybody wore makeup. I mean, men wore eyeliner. Just look at all the hieroglyphics and all of the art from that era. So it is kind of renewing or refreshing or exploring a new way of looking at masculinity. And so men are definitely starting to explore that. You'll go into the like Ulta or Sephora and start to see whole sections devoted to makeup for men. So that is the unusual quality of Aquarius, and it is also exploring something new in masculinity. And Aquarius rules the LGBT community. So you're seeing more of that becoming mainstream. As Mars retrogrades, we're going to go back over those new qualities that are coming in, and we're going to explore them deeper. And then we're going to have Mars go back into Capricorn. And when Mars goes back into Capricorn, of course, we're wrapping up the end degrees of Capricorn for that masculine story. So what we're going to find is there will be the storyline of the old guard, which honestly right now is probably most politicians. So the old guard around what direction we're heading and how we do it, and the tradition and the dogma associated with tradition. And Mars is going to say, okay, I'm about ready to take off on this new tangent into a new area, and it's exploring all these different arenas we may have explored in the past, but it hasn't been for a long, long time. And now we're going to do it again. And so also I have to say, I go on and on about Aquarius. Aquarius and Scorpio are two signs that I really, it seems to be so much information coming in when I talk about them that I could just go on and on. And anyway, so we had in the late 1990s, Neptune and Uranus were both in Aquarius right around 1998. And so they joined up in the sign of Aquarius. So the children born in that era, which are approaching their 20s now, are really coming into adulthood and really starting to recognize their own place in the adult arena. And so we're going to really be seeing an expression of that come out in the later part of the summer. And right now, of course, we're going back over that kind of initiation energy. Having Mars triggering that generation, absolutely, this is affecting people born in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and really, honestly, on for, hang on a second, probably a good 14 years. So from 98 through 2006. We're going to see that whole generation really kind of starting to wake up with this Mars transit. And then, of course, 2020 is going to be huge for that generation with Pluto and Saturn transiting late degrees of Capricorn and then into Aquarius. But keeping in mind also we had the Neptune in Scorpio generation, which I believe was like around 1956 through, I'm just guesstimating based on who I know and where their Neptunes are. So it's going to be about 1970. So for that generation of people, especially the ones close to the late 50s, are going to be feeling this squaring their Neptune. So it's a generation that they may not understand. We're going to feel, and Mars, what I'm getting at is Mars is triggering what we are coming into in the next couple of years. It's just the initiator. It's saying, hey, we're going to start taking some inroads into this new territory of understanding and expansion. It is eccentricity, enigma, not knowing what things are, not necessarily understanding the energy. It is very quantum energy. We're moving from very linear, practical. We've got a well-worn path. I mean, that's part of just the nature of Capricorn, is having this, you can look back and see where you've been. You can trace back in a very material way. Well, this building was built in the 1600s, and now it went through this incarnation and that incarnation, and now here we are. And it may mean that we're kind of at the end of wanting that particular structure, and then structures are going to be morphing. They're going to be going away. They may be repurposed. The thing that comes to mind off the top of my head is I have an on-ramp not far from where I live. It's the closest highway access, and there's a loop getting on the highway. And it's about 2 miles south of the closest university, the campus of UCF. And they built housing on this loop for the highway. Like, are you kidding? It's so unusual. You know, I'm just like, who would build housing and a parking garage and on-ramp? But that's what they did. So it's that kind of thinking. It's like, well, here's a plot of land. It's fairly close. We can get it done. It's right across from the grocery store. We're going to build housing, student housing on this on-ramp. Like, okay. So it's that kind of thinking. It's like repurposing. Anyway, I think I kind of have driven home what I'm trying to get at with this Mars. But Suffice it to say, this summer is going to be reevaluating where we've been with this initiating energy. We may have felt really good when Mars went into Aquarius, or we could have felt very anxious because the same day that Mars went into Aquarius was the day that Uranus, the ruling planet of Aquarius, went into Taurus. And that actually is in positive aspect to the Capricorn energy. So Capricorns, you're kind of getting a mixed bag, and that's been your path probably for the last decade, maybe 13 years since Pluto went into, let me see, what year are we in? So went in, about 13 years ago in 2007. I'm sorry, that's a decade. 11 years ago, it went into Capricorn. So when Pluto went into Capricorn, the Capricorns really felt this major upheaval in their lives, and also the earth signs, because that was where the trines were starting to happen, and trines can absolutely rock your world. I know traditionally people say trines are very supportive and a positive aspect, but I can guarantee you when trines happen, Kate Spade is gone, Anthony Bourdain is gone, and there were trines, very strong grand trine at that time. So let me tell you, the trines can actually bring about major shifts. Currently, we have a trine between Uranus in Taurus and Saturn in Capricorn retrograde. We have a trine between Jupiter and Neptune within 3 degrees. Jupiter's in Scorpio retrograde and Neptune is at 16 Pisces retrograde. We also have Venus at 14 Leo in trine to the moon today. It's a parting separating aspect, but the moon is within 3 degrees of an exact trine to Venus. That can mean that there are females in our lives, probably a friend. It's more like friend energy with Venus and Leo. Leo rules friendship, but it is women. It can be creative women, and the moon in Sagittarius may mean transition or travel, and it can be optimistic energy as well. But definitely, whenever I see the moon in Sagittarius, the ruling sign of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and that is in square by 1 degree to Venus today. So I definitely see that someone who's a creative energy, again, may also leave the earth, or you will see opportunities for travel and fun and play. All of those are part of this energy shift. So anyway, I digress a little bit, but the full moon, I think I've kind of touched on that, but the full moon will be at 6 degrees, which means it's exactly, well, I shouldn't say exact, within 1 degree of Saturn at 5 degrees Capricorn. So it's a very strong connectedness to the Capricorn authority male energy. It is a shift. Again, it's the moon, which rules females, women, and mothers, and home, connecting to the father, which is Saturn, and authority figures and structures. So we're going to see some type of shift around, it's very much screaming the energy of what's going on with the children, the immigrant children, and being ripped from families. That is a big part of the story of the culmination of this full moon. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of days we see something going on about what's going to happen to those families, or where is that storyline going. I know that they are saying right now that they've got some legislation, immigrant legislation, passing through the House. And so it's going to be a big culmination of a story around family, children, government structures, et cetera, et cetera. Moon in Sagittarius today is about immigration, is about travel and education, higher education. So we'll see some of that come out in the news. We also have some inconjuncts going on between Neptune and Venus. Today, Venus is really active today with square, moon trine, and inconjunct from Neptune. That to me says that it is a story around a woman in particular, and Leo is actors and actresses and artists. So it's probably going to be another celebrity in that realm if we lose someone. And I don't necessarily think that the storyline of taking your own life is over. I think that Neptune retrograde probably punctuates that, and as long as Venus is transiting in conjunct to Neptune, it's going to continue to be a story. Also, Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio. Scorpio rules death and rebirth. Jupiter transformation, transit, and life. So it is a very strong energy, and again, trine to Neptune. So yeah, it is kind of a summer story, so to speak. And Jupiter goes direct the second week of July. Then we will wrap up certain aspects of that. It is about personal value to others. So it's how we perceive ourselves as valuable within society. And of course, there's a square between Jupiter and Venus. So it is around the value of women and what we individually think of our own value. I can tell you that is kind of a storyline in my life, and I see it very clearly how it can play out. And I will tell you that it's turning out very positively. I am really addressing a lot of personal issues around, being an artist, being an astrologer in our modern society, because neither one of those are very much at the top of the food chain, so to speak. So, when you are out there in the world and you have something to give, when you aren't particularly seen as someone of value based on what you do and what you're driven to do, it can really play on your sense of worth. But personally, I'm really making a lot of breakthroughs. I feel really good about what's coming. And I hope that you do too, because when Jupiter goes direct in July, I think that will be a really wonderful energy. Definitely the beginning of the year when Jupiter was direct and went into Scorpio in September of last year, it really opened up, I think, for the Scorpios, a lot of more positive energy, because Jupiter is rather optimistic. It can give hope. It can give you a sense of not having to feel so responsible for what happens in the world, which is something that Scorpio, Virgo, and Capricorn are very aware of doing. Jupiter tends to just keep on a path, keep active, and not necessarily look awake behind them. And as a little aside story for this before we take a break and then take some calls, I go back and forth from my part of town to the shopping area, and it's through a subdivision. They have very limited driving area to get back and forth, and the closest way is through a subdivision, which the speed is 25 miles an hour. And generally in this day and age, people want to go 40 to get through there, and it was very poorly planned. So a lot of traffic goes through this area, and I tend to go fairly slow. It's a 25-mile-an-hour limit, and I usually go under 30, but probably not 25. It's closer to 30. But people behind me want to go 35, 40, and I'm like, this is my one chill area, so I go slower. But I get frustrated when people tailgate me through this area, because it is, there are cops and you can get pulled over. And so I just I don't want to go faster in that particular area. It's a very small length of road. And my daughter sees my frustration, and so she turns my rearview mirror up, like, just don't look. And believe it or not, that actually works. If you're not looking at the right on your tail, you just shut it out. That's Sagittarius. That's Jupiter. You get this energy of like, what's behind you is not important. I don't know if you ever saw the Gumball Rally from the 1970s. Go look at that movie up, the Gumball Rally. There was an Italian driver in it. They raced from one coast to the other, and all rules were gone. And he ripped off his rearview mirror and said, what the behind you is not that important. And I got Italian accent. And he threw the mirror out the window, or out the convertible. Anyway, I digress. It's funny. But, that's Jupiter / Sagittarius. The moon's in Sagittarius today. So you're going to find that you're not as wrapped up and absorbed in all the details, nor do you care. You just want to keep going. You just want to be active, and hopefully you will stay positive. So I'm sure there's probably a lot that I would like to tell you. I always think about what I had in the show later in the week, thinking, oh, why didn't I touch on that? But anyway, I gave you a lot to think about, and we're going to take some calls here after the break. So let's take a little bit of a break as soon as I find something. How about keep me in the back of your mind, and then we'll be right back.
other day said you were sorry for something that I didn't even think twice. You felt so bad that you couldn't be around. But I gotta say, it was kinda nice to be by myself. There's no rules. You don't have to open my door. Put your heart back on the shelf. Don't act too cool. For I want more. No, I don't want to love you forever. Leave me in the back of your mind. I don't want to love you forever. Leave me in the back of your mind. You're so sweet when you sweep me off my feet and buy me flowers and take me out on the town. You smell so fine, you even know how to order wine. And you look me in the eye to know what's on my mind. That's not your concern. There's no rules. I'm not one that likes to keep score. Nothing lost, nothing learned. Don't be a fool. For I won't want more. No, I don't want to love you forever. Leave me in the back of your mind. No, I don't want to love you forever. Leave me in the back of your mind. 'Cause it is what it is. Just is what it is. It is what it is. Just is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't. Just is what it is. It is what it is. It just is what it is. Tell me what it is. Before too long, no, I don't want to love you. No, I don't want to love you. I don't want to love you. No, I don't want to love you. Said I don't want to love you. No, I don't want to love you. Just keep me high. Keep me in the back of my heart.
Bria Schoenberg's new CD, So Is the Day, can be found at randomactrecords.com. And welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Shelley Overton. I am an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you would like to get a personal reading, you can find it at angelicodiac.com or astrologerangel.com. Either one gets you to the same page, so take your pick. Anyway, I just wanted to also mention the lady who was just singing, Bria Schoenberg. She is a trumpeter, and she's a jazz trumpeter and singer, and she's pretty amazing. I have a friend who basically produced her album, and he was kind enough to let me have access to that. So anyway, I'm going to let you know that we are going to be revamping my identity on the site and everything, and updating it, and new ads and all sorts of things. So it's just a matter of getting to it because my plate's really full right now, but it is on the top of the list. So we'll be doing that in the next few weeks. So anyway, let's get some callers. I just want to say we have a few callers. So if you can keep it to a single question, that would help others get their readings in today. And you know me, I like to go on and on. So I'll try to keep it tight and concise. So let's see who we have here. 241. How are
Carla.
you? Hi, Carla.
Hi, my name is Carla. Hi. You read
Hi.
me probably about, I think it might have been February, and you told me things were going to happen.
February 8th? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And that I rented a space from somebody in a medical office, and an office, inside an office, and it's not working out well.
Okay.
It turned out to be really bad. So I was wondering, do you see me being able to get out of this lease without having to pay a penalty to her?
Okay.
Broken so much.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how long ago did you? Oh, really? Okay. Could you just tell me the date you recently? I'm going to look at that because I see some things that are coming, so I can kind of get an idea. But if you could tell me when you said it, that would be helpful.
Oh, the day I signed the lease?
Yeah.
Okay, that was, I think, on the 9th. I think it was the 20th of March.
Okay. And that was this year, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the lease, the 6-month point is the end of September, and then it was a year lease, but it's if the accommodations don't work out for, and we both agree that the lease can be broken at 6-month point. But it's kind of hard. How can you agree if somebody's having a problem with the other person? You know? And she's in it for the money.
Oh, okay. You're in Wisconsin?
No, I was born there. I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. Do you mind giving me where? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'll just do Central Florida, but.
No, the Tampa Bay area.
Tampa. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because I'm trying to see what it looks like for when you signed. Do you know what time of day you signed?
I think it was around lunchtime.
Okay, put noon. All right.
She has been very dishonest. Oh my gosh.
Oh, no. Okay, let me just kind of look a little bit into this chart because what happens is, like I do electional astrology too, and electional astrology is when you look at a specific time to do an event. So did I give you any advice about that at all?
No, because this wasn't in. I didn't know about this place at that time.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'll just tell you about the time when you signed it. So what was going on at that, and I will, infer from what I can gather from that quick for you. So when you signed it, first off, signing a lease is usually under Mercury because it's about contracts, and you'll sign under Mercury, and you want that to be really good. Mercury was in Aries, which is a combative sign. Aries generally likes to have fights, and honestly, fighting, makes them feel alive. So I don't judge that at all. It's just the nature of Aries. It's a masculine, fiery energy. It was exactly the same degree as Venus, which is women. So Mercury and Venus together in Aries, and they're both squaring Pluto, which also is a higher more intense vibration of Mars. So Pluto can be, the energy where it will blow something up if it doesn't like it. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got that fight outside. Anyway, had to shoo away a neighbor cat. So you have this intensity going on, and it's squaring. So Pluto in Capricorn, which of course Capricorn is structures and careers and businesses, office, things like that. It's in the house that rules legalities. So that's the 8th house. So Pluto squaring Mercury, Venus, and then also exactly within 5 degrees squaring Uranus, which is unusual energy. And again, autonomy, independence. That's where your conflict lies. Okay. So, yes, it doesn't look like you will be in it for very long. I can't guarantee she won't pitch a fuss because it is a square energy to Pluto, which means vindictiveness. And Pluto in the 8th house is like, yeah, is that how she is?
Oh my God, she screams at me for no reason when no one's around.
Mercury.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let me see. And then you also, so really signing the lease. So you had Mercury approaching Venus. Mercury is at 1632 and Venus is at 1658. That means the minutes of time. So because it's such a short lease, yeah, I mean, Mercury approaching Venus, you would think that it could be cooperative around communication, but because it's squaring other planets, it is in Aries. And it's just not a good energy because of the giant square to Pluto. So and also the sun that day at time literally was about to go into a new, I mean, it was 29 degrees, 59 minutes. There was literally 1 minute before the sun went in. You signed it before the sun went into Aries. So by progression, sun in Aries also adds to that combative nature. And I would say Mercury coming up on Venus in those 30 degrees, that is the problem. It's going to be like, I wouldn't say you're going to stay in the lease for sure beyond 6 months. I can't say that it's going to be very pleasant. Let me see. When are you thinking of breaking the lease?
I was going to, stay until that 6 month point or give her the last payment to get back out of here. And I was just wondering, do you see her willing to terminate that lease at that point?
Okay. I definitely, her willing to do it. If it's a 6 month lease, you have a 6 month lease. There's not much she can do about it.
It's a year lease.
I'm sorry. You said it's a year lease. Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out the best timing for you to actually get that to happen. So if you give me a second, I'm looking at a lot of charts, and it's actually a rather involved question to do. So it's not just a quick and simple yes. I mean, sometimes you get lucky and you say, oh, yeah, it looks like this or that'll happen. But there are different elements to what it is, and I'm looking at who you were. You are represented by Mercury in this, and she's represented by Jupiter. So there is a trine of Jupiter to the Sun the day you signed the lease, and that means that whatever the Sun is doing is, whatever Jupiter's doing is what she is, and whatever Mercury is doing is what you are. I would say if you can do it after July 11th, that's when Jupiter goes direct, and it is in the sign of Scorpio. If you can work with the energy of the planet in its natural rhythm, that you're going to be better off, because Jupiter moving forward, she'll probably want to move forward. Right now, Jupiter retrograde means you're going back over how it was. Everybody's got their house up. It is more of a Saturn energy. When it goes direct, it'll be more to move on and out of there. So I don't know if that's an exact timing. It's in March 20th. Yeah, July, the beginning of July should, if you approach it after July 11th, I would say you're going to have a better chance of having her want to also move on, because Jupiter just wants to be done and move on. And with the retrograde, it's still kind of going back over the old wounds, going, you were bad to me, because Jupiter rules her. I would wait till it goes direct. And then I think you're going to have a better opportunity of her saying, yeah, this isn't working. Do you get the feeling she doesn't like it, or is she just difficult?
She's being difficult. She doesn't like me. I don't think she likes very many people. But I think she's in it for the money, and I think she's bringing other people out. Pardon me?
What is her sun sign?
Her birthday is 2/2/73.
Okay. Yeah, she's got some Sagittarius in her, and she's like a couple, like the Aquarius. Let's see. You said 2/2 or 2/22? 2/2. Okay, so she's right there in the middle of Aquarius. So Mars is also on her sun. So she's got Mars on her sun, and Mars is about to go retrograde too, like I said, week. So there is a faded energy about what's going on for her right now, and a need to. She's somewhat erratic, having that Mars in Aquarius and an Aquarius sun. Yeah. But the South Node is also on her sun right now. So that means that she's got a lot of energy going on. She is not predictable. that's part of what you're going to have to cope with. But pardon me?
I think she's being sued.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you that her just letting you go may not be the easiest. Let me see. We're talking about July. If I know that it's not be at 6 or August, what you would do probably is put her under a moon in Aquarius, which means that she's going to be more like, oh, I don't want anything to do with you either, and like let you go. I would honestly recommend a moon in Aquarius, and she is in Aquarius, because it'll, it would be the 28th of, which is a Saturday, the 28th of July is in Aquarius, and then also the 20th of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going too far. No, I think it's the 20th of August. No, 4th of August and 20th of July. 28th of July. I didn't get clearly. 28th of July and the 24th of August. Those are the days that the sun goes into Aquarius. So if you can get it as close to when the moon, when the moon goes into Aquarius, that will be more beneficial to you. Hitting the Mars on her sun, it'll be like she'll feel more ready to detach from you, and also a little more in the moment erratic. So she might make a snap judgment and just go with it. That's what I would say. Okay. That's the best I can give you. I'm sorry, it's such a short time to have to go over the charts for this specific thing. So, if you want like a shorter reading, I do mini readings for 20 minutes. If you want to get one of those, we could go a little more into the details. But eyeballing it, that's what I've got. Okay.
Okay, I'll look at your website then and get the information.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, all right. You take care. Good luck to you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's take 313. As soon as, there we go. 313. Hi, how are you?
I'm greater than great. How about yourself, ma'am?
Good. Who am I talking to?
Vaughn Robert.
I thought so. I'm sorry. I know I should memorize. I actually recognize your voice, but I didn't want to assume here until I got your chart. So, how are you holding up? How's it going?
I'm greater than great. How about yourself?
Oh, awesome. I'm doing pretty good, actually. Summer, other than the heat, I like summer. I don't have to keep to my daughter's school schedule, so it's a lot nicer, a little bit less stress. Right. So I have to ask, I mean, I don't know if everyone listening knows, but your sister had called over some personal health issues. I just want to check in and see how she's doing. How's she doing?
Actually, that's one of the main reasons I'm calling today, because I need to come to thank you, because I've never seen this one where somebody had that kind of has cancer and actually starts to gain weight.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. She's doing actually pretty good. Pretty good.
That's so good to hear. Did she start like really looking at her diet?
No, she didn't really mess with the diet.
Okay.
She got some stuff that she did for a minute, but from my understanding, I think she's still doing a lot of fried foods and stuff. Oh, woman, oh. Okay, well, tell her you talk to me again and say, give her those fried foods. Those are killer. Those are nasty. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, but she's not really dealing with heart issues, but it can't be for your heart either, huh?
No,
so what can I do for you?
Well, you know me. I call in every now and again, see if you can see what you can see, If you see anything I need to really know about.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you kind of what I was talking about earlier about myself, because we're so closely tied astrologically. For those who don't know, we share the same month and day of birth, which is September 10th. And so, and believe it or not, I don't know if I ever said this before, your rising sign is 10 degrees off of my rising sign. So you have a 20-degree Libra thing. Yeah. So yours is 10 or 20 Libra and mine's 0 Scorpio. So we're only 10 degrees apart there as well. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So your Jupiter falls in the first house, which is where it is for me too. So you are going through those like feeling the deeper psychological side of how you fit into society and are you valuable for who you are. And that's about integrity and it's about intrinsic value. It's not, I mean, it is about monetary value, but really in the first house so far, it's about, do you feel valued as a person? Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And then, of course, the 20 at 21 degrees Scorpio, you're going to feel that coming in when Jupiter gets to 21 after it goes direct, and that's super. Oh, let me give you the exact time. 20 minutes. So September 30th through October 1st. That's when Jupiter hits direct on the second house cusp, and I think that's going to be really financially beneficial to you, like super financially beneficial. Jupiter hits your Neptune, and it goes. Not only does it go into a new house, it gets ready to go into a new sign, but it joins up with your Neptune, which is your dreams and your house of money. And Jupiter is fortune. I've got chills. I mean, it's going to be at the exact degree of your dreams coming true. So that's huge. So just if you can just make it a couple more months, Jupiter's really going to bring a lot of lovely things to your life. And then it also rules couples and getting in a relationship. So being that it's the end degrees of Scorpio, it's about commitment to someone who has passion the way you do and someone who has that same vision.
Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah? Is that going on now?
Are you kidding me? You know what? No. The things you're saying right now.
Yeah.
I've shared, I don't know if you've seen my Facebook page, like the value thing.
Oh, I should go and look. I don't go on Facebook much.
I shared one today, a status today, where it speaks to. Matter of fact, my Facebook is open, and I'm going to read it for you. And then I swear to God, I did this today. Here it is. A woman. This 2 hours ago. A passionate woman is worth the chaos.
Aww.
I shared that 2 hours ago. I swear to God. You look on my face right now, you see it.
And I'll tell you where the chaos is. The chaos is Uranus in your house of marriage and partnership. That's where it is.
Well, it's not. It's like she's troubled. You know what I'm saying? It's just misunderstanding. But if a person is passionate, because usually got a person who just want to argue all the time.
Right.
I'm like, I'm okay with discussions and debates, but
you
know, listen while I'm talking, and you listen. I listen while you talking. And let's figure that out.
It's a give and take. Yeah, it's a give and take.
Yeah,
well, Mars is in Aquarius. Mars in Aquarius is in your house of home and family right now. So that does also connect to relationships, you know, because when you a lot of times when you read a chart, when planets go out of the fourth house of home and family, you end up transitioning into a relationship because it goes into the house of romance, but it also connects to, you know, like when you are in a partnership with someone or in a relationship with someone, they interact with you in your home life. So that can affect your home life too. So when I look at the fourth house, when you get in and Mars in Aquarius in the home and family right now means there's going to be chaos, means there's going to be some conflict. And like I said, Mars retrograding, so you're going to have to go back over some of those issues. And Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius square Scorpio, which is your first house of self. So, yeah, there is a certain amount of chaos associated with connecting to people. I don't know if it specifically is a romantic partner, but it is around the home. And so you're having to deal with a little bit of that. If you are in a relationship or thinking of it, that person may come to your home, cause a little bit of the chaos, if that's what you were referencing. But
no. What it was saying was, if a woman, you know, a lot of guys be like, women are trouble, right?
Yeah.
But
is that what they think?
Yeah, a lot of it, because you know, a lot of times, yes, ma'am. Because you know, when you have those things, you're saying, happy wife, happy life. Like, wait a minute, how about happy everybody? Well, you got to be happy. Yeah. And then you know, I can't get with that babying. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the right word for it, but you know, I respect I respect off rip, but you know, just throwing everything. I can't get with that program where I can't express myself unless for fear or walking on eggshells and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's selfish. If it's all about you and you got two people, why is it all about you? You know what I'm saying? I can't get with that. I know that's.
No, I totally get that.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, man, there's two in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing stuff for you, but I'm not about to. I'm not about to not do me because somebody else wants to go. They're gonna go haywire if they don't get their way. That's childish to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I do.
Grown and sexy around these parts right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, though, next year, Jupiter in Sagittarius, you're going to kind of want a little bit more freedom in relationships. You're not going to want, I mean, right now, definitely your chart is showing wanting to merge. That's Scorpio. Scorpio wants to merge and be part of someone. But because Jupiter's your first house, it's about really getting right with your personal value in the relationship so that you're not going to be putting up with people taking advantage. We've had this conversation a lot. So when Jupiter goes into Sagittarius, you have Moon there, you have Mars there. You're going to really kind of wake up and go, you know what, I don't have to put up with this crap anymore. And it's okay because you're going to get somebody, especially when Jupiter hits your Neptune, you're really going to integrate what you've learned about your own personal value. And I think that you're going to have a lot of options coming in. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be good. That's not the first time you said that. And I was kind of resistant to it at first. But as I see it now, I'm like, you know what, I'm actually, cause what you just said, I'm at that point now. I'm going to take that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. No, because you're feeling Jupiter rules Sagittarius. You're already feeling that's what it's doing for you and all of the Scorpios and Scorpio risings is making us like go, okay, I don't have to be the altar where I give up every part of me for you. And that's all honestly the story. Our generation, that Virgo, the Pluto, Uranus and Virgo and the Sun in Virgo and it's just, hey, I'll give me up for you, and we're not doing that anymore. And it's awesome. It's like I can still be me and be a nice person, but I don't have to put up with like all the stuff because somehow I have to be completely selfless in relationships. You don't have to be selfless anymore, and I can guarantee you Jupiter and Sagittarius is going to make you, that point will be driven home in spades. I mean, like, forget it. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to have fun and run with that. And Vaughn, I would go on and talk to you, but I want to get a couple more callers. So if you want to talk another time, you can call me privately, and that's cool. We'll just chit-chat, okay?
Okay. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, same. I'll talk to you soon. Okay?
All right.
Bye.
Thank you again. Thank you again, though. Too.
You're welcome. Well, hi to your sister.
Okay. I was going to tell her when I talk to her.
Okay, cool. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's take 202. Hi, 202. Is this Kay?
Hey, Shelley. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? What's going on?
Good. It's Kay.
Hi.
Just starting the week off. Just want to see what you see. What stands out transit-wise for me? Love, work, all that good stuff.
Right. I'm going to make this real quick because I have a few more callers today, so I'm just going to give you a real quick look-see, and then we'll take another caller before I end the show. Okay, so I'm going to hit the Mars for you. Mars retrogrades in your house of money, so of course that's a sense of freedom and autonomy, and then going there really honestly making you feel, I think Mars in Aquarius direct has been really good financially. Going back is going to make you go back over some of the behavior and actions you've taken recently, the things that you felt like I can't be tied to anyone. So it's really making us go back over and say, hey, is this really what I want to do? Was that a good action that I should have taken? And then getting back into the last degrees of Capricorn, it's really wrapping up the old responsibility issue and like, hey, I've got to be beholden to someone else and an authority figure. Again, all the Capricorn archetype of structure, authority, father figure. So, that's really the focus of where you're at. And Moon is in Sagittarius today. The full moon for you is going to be in the first house. So it is about getting right with you as an authority figure in and of yourself. So, you really pay attention to owning your own credibility, owning your own authority. And that's really what Saturn and Pluto have been asking you to do as they transit your first house. So, it's really coming in pretty strong to be aware of how you take action around your personal authority. And honestly, I think it's good. It may be uncomfortable a little bit because you're probably going to be challenged by a boss or a father figure, because that's what Mars does. So what you're having to realize is that you feel somehow you're restricted on some level, but it's really wrapping up the story. It's not going to last long. I'm going to go over here real quick and see Mars in Capricorn it gets in on the 14th of August, and then it is there until the 12th of September. So basically 1 month you'll have Mars in Capricorn again. So that's the time where you really have to straighten up and get those last details. I know you're working on your own company, so it is really kind of hey, is the financing in order? Am I doing what I need to do? And just revisiting the final aspects of that energy as far as the drive and the taking action on something. And it is also about just recognizing your personal authority. That's the huge push right now. Okay. Venus is in your 8th house, so it is about deep, passionate connections and commitment. It could be love and playfulness and children. And let me see. It's also finances. You'll get more finances if you're playful. That's Venus in Leo. It's something connected to that playful energy, or children, or even a child. It could be a small girl or a younger girl. So it could also be a commitment around someone who's younger. Maybe you could be like a mentor to someone who wants to learn the business, and she can come in. So, anyway, I hope that helps. I don't know if it does.
Absolutely. It helps very, very much. Thank you so much, Shelley.
And the full moon, again, is that Capricorn culmination of your identity. Remember, as a Capricorn in your first house is all about your identity, and you got to let stuff go. Okay, you got to let some of that dogma and the way it was and the fears, let all of that go. Again, Mars going from Aquarius back into Capricorn for you is going to be about letting go of the fear of what could happen, because you're really on the precipice of making it work. Okay, just don't have the fear. All right.
Fearless, yes, ma'am. And then for when Mars goes backwards, is that when men get weird? I've heard astrologers say that before.
Mars in Aquarius is going to have men, and everybody get a little eccentric and unpredictable, but definitely men are stronger connected to that energy. So, men will be unpredictable. But remember, Mars retrograde, it means that energy is less effectual. So men are going to feel less effectual. You may feel less effectual in your finances because that's where your Mars falls. So it's darn it, I was making headway doing this and that, and especially around networking, because Aquarius is the sign of networking. So, you may not feel like things are going forward with the people you want until after Mars gets back into Aquarius, like I said, September. So late August.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.
You too.
Okay, we're going to take one more call before I have to go, because I know you all wait so long and it just seems to go so quickly. So 818, how are you?
Oh, hi, Shelley.
Who is this?
Hello. Hi. This is Claudia. I had a reading with you, but I'm actually have a different chart I want you to look at.
Okay. You had a private reading with me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Does your last name start with C?
Yes.
Okay, I got you. It's November 11th, 79?
Okay.
Is that
yes.
Right? Okay, wonderful. What can I, you said you want another chart looked at. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you could. So 6/11/68.
Okay, hang on one second.
In,
Okay. Where?
10:30 a.m. in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
And they just had a birthday, so I wanted to know about.
Okay, hold on, slow down. I've
Sorry.
Get a few numbers in, and I know you're really enthusiastic and everything. Just have to get these numbers in, or I'll lose them out of my head. Okay, there we go.
Oh, I'm
all
sorry.
right. So, okay, they had a birthday. You said, of course, recently, 15 days ago. Okay. So, what do you want to know?
Just their solar return, maybe just like the year ahead, just basic.
For this person that you gave me? Okay. Solar return year ahead. So let me do one more chart real quick and put in June 11th instead of now, and I'll tell you. Okay, I've got charts flying around all over the place. Okay. Hang on a second. Okay, solar return. So Mercury was at late degrees Gemini, and they have a 0 degree Cancer Mercury. So it's going to be a hugely social year, but they probably always have a hugely social year because they have Venus in Gemini, late degrees in the house of career, and then Sun is in 20 Gemini, Mars is at 23 Gemini, and Mercury is at 0 Cancer in their chart in the house of soul groups, and that's very social. So they are a naturally very social person. A lot of work going on. The Mars is coming up on trine later on. I mean, it's going to retrograde. It kind of pulls back out of the trine for a little bit. And there's a career energy going on because it's in the house of work for them. Venus Venus was in the 12th house in their solar return chart, so it is about deep connection to mother issues and women and the home and the family because Venus was there. And next year, of course, Venus will probably be in Leo for them next year, so it'll be a little bit more playful around kids. And the whole Leo energy, much more optimistic and bubbly and everything. But this year is much more wrapping up old stories around connecting to the family and maybe siblings. It could be a sister or a mother or a friend, all very deep connected because it's Cancer. So it's very much emotional energy. Also, Saturn in Capricorn is on their moon within 4 degrees retrograde on their moon for the chart. And then there's a Vesta. So literally their moon splits the difference between Saturn retrograde and Vesta. And so that, again, is mom issues, structure, probably some conflict around mom or the family and children. I mean, it's a really strong Vesta, again, is a little bit shrewish energy, which means, difficult women on the moon in Capricorn. So it can be also bosses for this person. It could be, Saturn is career. It's a structure, so it could be a difficult boss or like a more mature woman who is really busting their chops. And then Pluto just went into their house of work. So, again, that also could relate to the workplace. So a lot of work, career issues, and networking. And then some subconscious stuff. Also, Jupiter is 2 degrees off of their cusp of family. So, and that, of course, is retrograde. So it's wrapping up the communication aspect around deep psychic. I want to say psychic, even though it is logical psychic, because Scorpio is very psychic and intuitive. So it is about really getting real with that intuitive nature and realizing that how you're reading things is true how they are, but also expressing that intuitive nature in the world and being okay with knowing more than other people about situations, very intuitive around the thought process. So instead of really linear thought, it's more you're getting a feeling for how things are. So you're reading body language and stuff.
This person, he's very intuitive to women's feelings.
Yeah, I can see that.
Very much.
Yeah. Neptune and Scorpio
that's
natally.
what I like about him.
Cool. Yeah, well, it is a very it's going to be a lot if you want to tell him to do a reading with me. I mean, the Gemini energy, a lot of Gemini in his return, and then a lot of new opportunities financially overseas. If he gets into anything like that, could be some tech opportunities in foreign markets, because Uranus went into Taurus in his house of foreign affairs and education. So there could be some opportunities for making money off of foreign stock, that, and even educational areas. So, yeah, Neptune is at the next 4 years are really going to be strong for him around how he interacts with a partner, because Neptune is in the last 4 degrees of his house of marriage and partnership. So he's really kind of dealing in the next 4 years, which are very strong years for everyone in the world with what's going on astrologically, as a major shift for him around over idealizing a partner, and there can be some shifts around that and wanting to there's so much in his chart. Just to have him contact me if he wants a reading, because I
have him call me.
It all comes up. Yeah, it's just a lot.
Okay.
But it's going to be an active year. A lot of issues around the mom story and authority around female figures for him. Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for your help.
Thanks for your patience and waiting, and I hope you have a lovely week. Take care. Bye.
Oh, you too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. That is the end of our show. I'm sorry for those who didn't go on today. I really tried to move it along, but I think when I have repeat callers, there's a history and they like to chat, right, Vaughn? Anyway, I love my repeat callers. So anyway, I hope you have a good week, and call in early next week so you can get on the air, and I will do my best to get you on. So thanks a lot. Take care. See you next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.